Hello everyone. So let's start this session. I'll start with introducing myself. I am Pragati Yadav. I had appeared for GATE 2026 and I got All India rank 285 in computer science and 596 in DA. Also, I've recently just taken the admission in IISc Bangalore for MTech in computer science. So I've already taken a couple of mentorship sessions already. So how we will go about here is you can either put your doubt in the chat, but it's preferable if you raise your hand, unmute yourself, and ask the question. Okay, so there is one question in the chat. So that I've completed CDS Algo, DL, Maths, and COA is ongoing, but I've not practiced the questions till now, only done some questions and PYQ, which is in the lecture. So how can I approach it forward in my preparation? So are you, Bhautik, are you just like watching the lectures and moving on to the next? Can you tell me about a little about how you are going about it? And can you unmute yourself? Is that all okay?
Hello.
Yes, hi.
Hi. Uh, I am watching lectures and making notes and moving forward.
Okay. And are you a college student?
No, I have graduated this year and I am doing preparation with full-time job.
Okay. So definitely, I think watching lectures and moving forward would not be the right strategy. Um, also, are you comfortable making notes or do you feel that it takes time? Are you preparing whole long notes?
Uh, I'm not preparing whole notes, but I write the thing which is important and which is to be remembered.
Right. Okay. Okay, that's good. But I think it would be very important to solve questions. Now you have already completed it, like about three subjects, right? So you should be moving. If you're doing COA, definitely continue with the lectures. But for the previous ones, you should start doing the PYQs. You can start topic wise because since you have a full time job, right? So you have the entire day. So I would suggest not to give the whole day in watching lectures. You should divide your time and keep a fixed slot of 3 hours maybe for PYQ practice for all the subjects that you have done before. I would suggest first doing PYQs, and then you can go with the subject-wise test and topic-wise test for these subjects because they are definitely important. If you leave everything for the end, then it would be a problem. Also, now that you know you have recently completed these subjects, so it would be easier for you to solve the PYQs because things would be fresh in your memory,
Uh,
right?
okay, the CSDA Algo and digital link I have completed last year, not now, but I have
Okay.
not solved uh, PYQs. So I thought that I will start, but how to approach, that was my main question. That how can I do as first I do revision, then attempt, or what should I follow?
See, it depends on how much you have prepared. So for these subjects, C, DS, Algo, and digital logic, even I think digital logic is still shorter compared to other subjects. What you can do is pick up PYQs. First, you can start with C, DS, Algo since it is comparatively, I mean, if you are from CS background, then it could be a little easier for you to do these two subjects. So you can start with PYQs. If you are able to solve about 50-60% because since you did it last year, so if you're able to do 50-60%, then you can think that you still remember. So by the way, did you watch lectures like of go classes last year? Have you completed the theory properly?
Yes, I have watched all the lectures from the Go classes and also made notes from them.
All right. Okay. Then that's good because theory wise you are not lagging behind then. So you can start with PYQs, right? Topic wise you can pick. So suppose you started with DS and Algo. So if you are able to solve them, then you are good to go, right? Then आप ये subject बाद में तभी revise करना जब आप बाकी रिविजन कर रहे होगे. But suppose you start digital logic and you're not able to remember things and you're not able to solve PYQs, then you can give an entire day or two. Like if you've already watched all lectures, and I think 2 to 3 days would be enough for you to revise that particular subject. And then once you have revised the slides, like you can do that in DL. You first revise sequential circuit wala topic, and then you can solve PYQs and subject wise or topic wise test of that particular topic. And don't give the entire day for it. Continue with the COA subject or whatever subject you're studying. So give half of the day to that, and for the remaining half, what you can do is revise one particular topic. Say you did sequential circuits, then you from the lecture notes, right, or short notes that you have prepared, or both. You can ideally you should do the entire long notes because you still have time for gate 2027. So once you revise the topic, do the PYQs, then you move to combinational circuit and then the PYQs for that. So topic wise, you can keep revising and doing the PYQs. And for DS and Algo also, you can, I think for C, if you have made any short notes, you can go through that. It should not take you more than 1 or 2 days to do the revision for CDS algo, especially because these are uh, things where you learn by solving questions, right? In algo, there are things, but for C programming, especially, and even for data structures, you learn while solving questions. There is not a lot of theory into it. In algo, I understand there are particular algos that you need to revise, so that's how you can approach it. So to summarize, you can start. You pick any subject. Firstly, continue your lectures for the new subject that you're doing, which you said COA. For the remaining part of the day, you pick a particular subject, say digital logic. Topic wise, you first revise the entire lecture notes and then you move to the PYQs and topic wise test for that. For C and DS, you can, I think, start with the PYQs or any, because in these, in C programming, I think there's not much theory. You only learn after solving programs and questions.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other question? Yes.
Um, Good evening, ma'am. I'm Sadineni Banerjee. Ma'am, I'm currently fourth year, and in third year I've appeared for GATE, and that time my score means marks was 20.38 in CS
Okay.
third year. And I hadn't prepared well also, means without preparation it was 20.38, and this year I'm trying to prepare. So for now I am just means learning the subject, but not means that question practice rigorous is not happening. Means how should I approach in the means learning and practicing of questions parallelly together, means to
Right.
get some good marks in my fourth year, because I'm in fourth year only. So,
Okay. So, how is like, do you have to go to college every day, like, or
No,
for a
for
few hours?
actually our placements are going on, so maybe someday for placement practice and all we have to go, but not that much. Means fourth year is a bit relaxed. Third year we had to go college day on regular basis, so I couldn't prepare. But means fourth year I have a lot of time for.
Okay. And like, this is your first year with serious preparation?
Yeah, first year, because third year I didn't prepare well as it is, because maths was done in my second year and first year, and after that we don't have mathematics, so that mathematics was not done. Then COA and digital was also actually done in the prior years, so that also I had done on the basis of DBMS OS, and that too theoretical knowledge, means not for gate you need to practice a lot of questions. So I
Right.
haven't practiced that time, so like that. So on basis of that I scored actually 24, but after normalization 20.38, means this
Okay.
year 2026.
All right. So for now, which subjects have you started with?
Ma'am, I actually trying to do various means not a fixed subject. I am doing DSA, sometime algorithm, sometime digital means learning and then writing and learning like that. Not like particular this subject I'm just doing.
Okay,
Means
so firstly, I would suggest you to, make a strategy because if you pick topics randomly, then uh, things could feel a little here and there and messy. So I think one needs to have a proper schedule. Now, it doesn't have to be very precise, but I think you should pick any, like maximum, I guess, two subjects at a time. And once you complete those, then you should move on to the next. Like you shouldn't be doing three, four at a time.
actually
Yes,
not three, four I'm doing at a time. The thing is that I take the notes, means which is actually prepared already. I learn from those, I see the formula and then I write it. Means after learning to retain it for a longer time. And a subject I believe for doing continuously like learning that thing for 3 to 4 days means like you don't have patience or sometimes we lack interest on that subject and the means the it become lags means that learning speed actually lowers down, so I shift the subject to some other subject and then I do other subject and then again I come back to that subject, like that my learning is going on means like parallelly few subjects, not all subject, like DSA algo it's almost similar only,
right.
and time complexity. Yeah, so like, for that reason I'm doing, not that means I know that I have a fixed schedule of time I have to complete it. I don't want to give more time to that subject, but the thing is that I can't do it pure strength because sometimes doing the same subject again and again, you sometimes you feel like means that learning thing actually lowers down. It becomes a bit boring, so I just that is the reason.
Okay, so then I'm hoping that you have a structure or schedule in your mind. For example, till June, you could have planned that if you're doing C and C programming and DSA, then C, DSA, and whatever other subject you have to complete. So monthly, I think you should be having your schedule to complete whatever subject. Then it's up to you whether you do two at a time or three parallelly, up to you. But first, make a uh, monthly calendar of subjects because ideally your target should be to complete the syllabus by September or October maximum, right? So with that target, firstly you have to set
Ma'am,
and
should
right.
I practice question parallelly or like after completing the whole syllabus, then should I go for practicing question?
Right. So definitely not after the whole syllabus. So I think only initially when you start with your first one or two subjects, that's when the question practicing is a bit low, right? Because you're just starting. But once you have completed like two subjects, then when you move on to like if you have done C and DSA, right? You have to firstly watch the entire lecture also because like especially here like the Go classes lectures, they are very in depth. So, gaining knowledge is your first priority. Question solving is also important, but if you just rush into it, then that also doesn't make sense. Now, once you have watched all the lectures, you have understood the concept, you have understood the concept behind the algorithms. Then you start with the other two subjects or three, whatever you're how many deciding to pick, and you should divide your every day you should divide to learning theory, which should ideally be the time when you are most focused, right? Like for me, it was early morning, so I used to wake up and start with lectures, and then late afternoon and evening used to be for question practicing. So now, when you are picking up the next two subjects, for the earlier two subjects, you can start like for CDS, if you've already completed, you should start solving PYQs. Now, if your PYQs you're able to solve about 65-70% questions, that means that you have understood things well, right? You don't. It's not the case that if you are finishing a subject, then you will be able to solve all the questions. There would still be doubts, many doubts, right? Which you can so look it up at Gate Overflow because then again you look at various approaches. So that's how you start with the questions. Now, when you see that PYQs mostly are able to solve, then you pick up the subject-wise and topic-wise test of those particular subjects that you have completed. Because PYQs are very important. These are the questions that have already come in GATE, right? So you need to test yourself whether you have done the lectures properly or not. Now, with the subject-wise tests are equally important because I feel that there's a possibility that a similar question could be framed in the upcoming gate exams because these every question is different in the subject-wise test. PYQs you will find many similar questions, but subject-wise and topic-wise tests are designed in a very nice way. You will learn from every question, and again, don't get demotivated if you're not able to solve those tests because every question I think is most of them are built in a tricky manner, right? So that's okay. Once you do PYQs, then move to the subject-wise test, and this should be a particular 3 hours or 4 hours a day, and the remaining 5 6 hours should be for your lectures. Or initially you could give 6 7 hours for lectures and 2 3 hours for question practicing. And then as in when you complete your syllabus, suppose once you are at uh, once you've completed 80% of your syllabus, then you start giving mock test. Once you've done 8 to 9 subjects with PYQs, then mock test you start towards the end of your subject, like course completion. But question practicing has to be throughout. You have to do it parallelly,
Okay, sure.
right? And yeah, for you, I would advise, just make a monthly thing that which subjects you have to complete by which month.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Any other questions from anyone? You can raise your hand. Anything you want to share or ask.
Ma'am, how did you prepare parallelly for CS and DA?
Okay. Hi, Rishi. So,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did not, right. So, okay. So I did not prepare for DA. I was preparing for CS only. I scored around 55 marks in DA this year. So most of the subjects, like 15 marks is aptitude, right? And for the rest of it, programming, because the only difference is that here it's Python and there it's C. So I was comfortable with Python. Programming is the same, DSA is same, then database is also overlaps here, and then maths also there is some portion of CS, linear algebra and probability also comes in DA. So I only through those overlapping subjects I was able to score in DA. One other thing would be in third year I was doing machine learning, so not that I remembered much, but it's it depends. Sometimes a few basic conceptual questions come from these subjects. So if since I had already done machine learning, so I was able to solve a few questions by the memory I had. But mostly, if you have prepared for CS, um, then DA qualify, so you will 100%. Anybody who is preparing seriously for computer science, I feel DA you will qualify, and if those overlapping subjects of yours are strong, then you will be able to score good also.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, Aditya. Hi, Aditya.
Hey, hi. Sorry, I have not watched any of your previous sessions, so this doubt might be a little something you have repeated before. But like, I just wanted to ask, since I'm also preparing alongside a job, so from which month did you start preparing, and by which month did you like completed your syllabus? So then you started giving your mock tests and stuff.
Right. So, I started preparing from. I decided to appear for GATE in June end last year. So I started my preparation from July, and I was able to complete my syllabus till December. But I did start giving mock test in November, right? So once I had done 8 subjects, I started giving mock test, which was from November. Now, one thing here is that I graduated in 2025, that is last year only, and I was doing computer science, BTech in computer science. So, subjects like operating system and CDSA, computer network were pretty like the basics were still clear for me. Uh, there was still a lot to learn. It's not like I was preparing for gates especially, but since I was fresh out of college, basics were pretty much clear for me. So I started from July, and my routine was usually that I used to study 3 hours approx, 2 to 3 hours in office I used to try, and then after coming home I used to study for about 4 hours, and weekends I used to give the entire day from morning to evening. So this was my routine, like from June or no, July, yeah, July to Jan end. This is how I was preparing. And
Okay.
for consistency, right? So for in usually for me in office I could not watch lectures, so I used to take any topic wise set of questions of PYQs, and I used to solve that, because like it helped me with consistency, because once I have a target that there are these 25 to 30 questions that I need to complete before going back home, so that helped me build consistency. So I utilized my office time for PYQs.
Okay. Thank you. Just a follow-up question. So
Yeah.
I'm working as a data scientist at a startup. So some days I don't have much time to study and to give to my lectures and questions. So I have been trying to follow the daily schedule that sir posts in the group, but I have somewhat of a backlog right now. So I'm trying to cope
Okay.
up with it. And as like the daily lectures go on, I'm accumulating more and more backlogs. So I'm not able to catch up to the live schedule. So like what should I do in respect to that?
I think that that is okay if you don't follow the calendar. Like personally, last year I was enrolled in the test series, but I mean I wasn't part of any course. So I watched the YouTube lectures of Go classes. That also okay. So I tell from the beginning. Earlier I was preparing from various different playlists on YouTube. So with those I covered my subjects till October. Now when in October end I gave my first mock test, I scored 28 or 30 something marks. So then when I looked up a question, somehow I found Go classes on YouTube, and I discovered that there was a huge gap. Now I was thinking that I've covered most of my syllabus, but then it was a bit shocking for me to see that there is a huge knowledge gap. So I remember during that time I used to watch about 8 hours of lectures daily on like 3x, almost 3x speed. So like I would say that it's not mandatory to follow calendar. On like some days it's very hectic, and some days are easy going. So you can I would say you should ideally try to make again monthly targets. If you say like I have to complete 3 subjects by June end, so then you watch the lectures, try to solve PYQs alongside, and complete it like monthly. So don't, it's okay if you are not able to follow the calendar. Just make a target of your own to complete syllabus by October, because if you set target for October, then it still stretches to like November or first week of December. But it's okay if you make your own plan.
Understood. Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Thank you. Any other questions? Any of you?
May I?
Hi.
Hello. Uh,
Yes.
my name is Tathagat, and currently I'm studying in my final year. Basically, मेरा अभी वेकेशन चल रहा है और मैंने
Yeah.
इस साल गेट डीए अटेम्प्ट किया था और मैं क्वालिफाई कर गया था. सो
Okay.
मैंने जून मतलब लास्ट वीक में मैंने गो क्लासेस का कोर्स परचेज किया है. मतलब कंप्यूटर साइंस एंड इंजीनियरिंग के लिए.
Mm.
मैंने लास्ट ईयर एलए पढ़ा था, कैलकुलस, प्रोबेबिलिटी एंड साइंस, और डीबीएमएस पढ़ा था डीए के लिए. सो
Okay.
मैंने उस उन इन सब्जेक्ट को थोड़ा लास्ट में रखा है और अभी कंप्यूटर नेटवर्क और सी प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेजेस से मैंने स्टार्ट किया है डेटा स्ट्रक्चर्स के साथ. सो मेरा ये ऑर्डर एक तरीके से क्या सही रहेगा कि क्योंकि मैंने लास्ट ईयर डीए के लिए ऑलरेडी पढ़ लिया है, तो सही डायरेक्शन में मैं जा रहा हूँ क्या? और मैंने आई थिंक नवंबर तक दिसंबर पूरा सिलेबस कंप्लीट करने का टारगेट रखा है।
Okay. So, आपने last year, like, were you studying from Go classes or like some other place?
अनअकैडमी से मैं पढ़ रहा था।
Okay. So, like, it for me personally, जो मुझे लगा था that जहाँ से from wherever I was studying, so I personally felt that there was a like for some subjects there was a lot of gap, and for some there was still a few gap. Like for the subjects that had already completed from other platforms, when I started watching lectures of Go classes, there were a lot of things that I learned new, right? But I understand that if some subjects are completely fresh for you, then it makes sense to start from them, because
ओके।
baki sabka you still have some knowledge, so that would be mentally easy for you to do it later on. So now if you have started with the core CS subjects, which is CN or COA operating system, then that is actually great, because I also did the same, because core subjects take more time and they are conceptually very heavy. So that is good, I guess. You can take two subjects at a time, so, and watch the entire lecture. And for the subjects that you feel confident, like if you think that DBMS or the other subjects, maths, if you are good at it because you were preparing for DA, you can test yourself with the PYQs and subject wise test. So if you are able to solve them, most of them, then you are good to go. But if you feel like you're not able to solve them even after revision of your earlier notes, then you can go ahead and watch the lectures of this CS course, right? And I would say that then you don't really need to make notes. You can just watch the lectures and revise from the PPT. It won't take time, especially towards the end. Also, automatically the speed also becomes faster towards the end. अभी starting में when we prepare, we tend to give more time to a subject, but as in when बाद में the schedule gets tighter, we fasten up. So right now, for now, it is good. You can start with the core subjects, and later on, if DBMS and maths के questions आपसे हो रहे हैं, then it is fine. But आप like subject wise test से भी आप बहुत कुछ सीखोगे, तो if वो questions करने के बाद भी if you think that you are not able to solve PYQs, then you can watch the lectures without making notes.
या ओके, थैंक यू। लाइक मैंने 2-3 लेक्चर सबनेटिंग पे देखे थे और मैंने बाद में वीकली क्विज अटेम्प्ट करी थी। सो उसमें मेरे 50% मार्क्स बन गए थे उसी वक्त, और मैंने PYQs भी सोल्व किए थे, तो उसमें अराउंड 50 to 60% मैं सोल्व कर पा रहा था, बाकी नहीं हुए थे। तो मैंने देखा कि हाँ, थोड़ा इम्प्रूवमेंट करना पड़ेगा अभी मेरे को लेक्चर
हाँ,
से भी थोड़ी बहुत हेल्प मिली थी।
राइट राइट। सो एग्जैक्टली, तो अभी फर्स्ट टाइम लेक्चर्स देखने के बाद इंस्टेंटली क्वेश्चंस नहीं होते, बिकॉज लेक्चर देखना एंड सॉल्विंग क्वेश्चंस इज डिफरेंट। आपने लेक्चर्स देख लिए, नाउ जब आप क्वेश्चंस कर रहे हो तो स्टार्टिंग में यू वोंट be able to solve like 50% in subject wise or topic wise test is good, right? तो अब आपसे जो questions नहीं हुए, आप एक एक करके उन सब का solution देखो, try to map it with your lecture concept कि ये concept था and this is how we apply it to the question. उसके बाद जब आप PYQs करोगे नेक्स्ट टाइम, तो आपसे और क्वेश्चंस अपने आप बनने लगेंगे जो पहले नहीं हो रहे थे, या एटलीस्ट आपको बाद में जो क्वेश्चंस आएंगे वो सॉल्व हो जाएंगे। तो स्टार्टिंग में इट इज यू आर डूइंग गुड। स्टार्ट एक बार लेक्चर देखने के बाद नहीं होता, इट्स ओनली आफ्टर रिवाइजिंग एंड सॉल्विंग क्वेश्चंस, लुकिंग एट सॉल्यूशंस, तब आपको अप्रोच समझ आती है क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करने की। इट इज अ बिट ट्रिकी,
यस,
या
थैंक यू फॉर
बट इट
दैट।
इज
एंड
नॉर्मल, या यू आर डूइंग गुड।
यस, थैंक यू। बट मेरा थोड़ा सा एक क्वेश्चन ये है कि लाइक अभी अ, मैं अभी आधा दिन में दे रहा हूँ हर रोज 2 सब्जेक्ट करने के लिए। बेसिकली सी लैंग्वेज और डेटा स्ट्रक्चर एक साथ कर रहा हूँ, थोड़ा थोड़ा उनके लेक्चर्स देखता हूँ, और कंप्यूटर नेटवर्क में मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम जाता है क्योंकि बिकॉज वो ज्यादा हेवी सब्जेक्ट है।
राइट।
एंड उसके 1-2 लेक्चर्स ही देख पाता हूँ। 2 लेक्चर्स तो कभी कभी हो पाते हैं, एक ही लेक्चर देख पाता हूँ क्योंकि उसके लेक्चर्स भी बहुत लंबे होते हैं। सो मेरा टाइम टेबल एक तरीके से सही है कि पहले मैं लेक्चर्स देखता हूँ, बाद में क्वेश्चन सोल्व करता हूँ उसके होमवर्क वाले, 10 PYQs पे मैं जंप करता हूँ।
यस। हाँ, this sequence is good. Like firstly, of course, आप lectures, क्योंकि आपका learning is the most important, right? When you are watching the lectures, तो उस टाइम आप सबसे ज्यादा फोकस से देखो। डोंट थिंक कि आपसे कितने PYQs होंगे, नेक्स्ट क्या करना है। लेक्चर के टाइम पे बी 100% अटेंटिव। तो yes, और अगर if you think कि बहुत slow जा रहा है then you can try कि मतलब at least दो तीन topics एक साथ भी आप complete करके उसके बाद PYQs इकट्ठे भी कर सकते हो उसके like और this approach is also good whatever suits you but the sequence is nice कि आप पहले subject पढ़ रहे हो then homework question करना है PYQ करना है वो आप किसी भी sequence में कर सकते हो because ultimately important तो सब कुछ है आपको cover सारी चीजें करनी है एंड रिवाइज भी सब कुछ करना है पीवाईक्यूज में भी जो आपसे सॉल्व नहीं हो रहे यू कैन मार्क इट देयर क्योंकि कुछ क्वेश्चंस होते हैं जो ट्रिकी होते हैं तो दोज क्वेश्चंस आप मार्क कर सकते हो या फिर आप कोई टेस्ट दे रहे हो जो आपसे नहीं हुआ तो आप वो भी मार्क कर सकते हो कि क्विज 2 का दिस पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन बस एक नोटबुक में लिख के रख लो एंड फिर लेटर ऑन जितना टाइम बचता है उस हिसाब से यू कैन गो ऑन रिवाइजिंग दोज क्वेश्चंस आल्सो
यस ओके थैंक यू दीदी अभी के लिए तो मेरे तरफ से इतने क्वेश्चन थे
ओके यस
Yeah, may I know from where did you study calculus? Because I'm not able to understand Sachin sir's lectures. Actually, I've given attempt for GATE this year, so I've seen the calculus lectures. I'm not able to understand Sachin sir's. So, have you seen Sachin sir's, or you have any other source of calculus?
No, I started with Sachin sir's lecture only. Like, are you watching the same for?
Yeah, I'm watching
Okay,
Sachin.
so
I actually watched Sachin sir lectures, but I'm not able to understand it.
okay, so I think so. Like, what you can do is I. So, what part particularly? Like, it starts with limits, then continuity, and then so where like what part do you find challenging particularly, or from the beginning only?
No limits I'm able to understand, but those functions and I actually wrote IISc Kolkata exam also.
Okay,
Uh, there were many functions, these calculus questions, and I was not able to solve them.
okay,
So
so
I'm thinking that Sachin sir's lecture basic is missing. So I was not able to solve. I think.
okay, yes. I think if you're talking about there are particular questions that come to plot graph or functions. Are you talking about those questions?
Functions. Yeah, functions and not continuity and differentiability, but some
Okay. Functions,
functions
basically,
questions.
right? Functions, I feel like if you feel that uske questions nahi ho rahe because recently I also gave a few exams for IISc CDS and AI. So there were questions from functions like which are a bit different from GATE syllabus. Those questions are not really asked in GATE. Those functions related. If you want to do that, you can look it up on YouTube. I think you will find everything. You can just put the topic and you will get lectures. I remember such function related questions were also during the entrance exam which we give for BTech, that is JEE, right? Because I did remember doing those questions back then. So that is easily available. If there is anything that, and even if there's any other topic which you don't understand from here, then for me also, I used to search it up on YouTube and study from there.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Right. So functions, a few topics of functions are not asked in GATE, which are asked in, a few like particular branches of some colleges. So for those, yes, online you can either look it up on Google. You will find maybe a reliable either textbook or any website that has that content, or on YouTube also you will be able to find those. Those are very like known topics, right? So you can do it from there.
Yeah, I think you are right because Sachin sir's will teach only gate level, right? ISI was beyond gate. Maybe that's why
Yes.
I was not able to solve.
Yes, yes, yes. So those are extra topics, especially functions. तो गेट CS में तो especially functions से नहीं आते questions. So for that, I also earlier I thought you were talking about just pure calculus for gate level, but yeah, these function related questions and some graph and functions combined or calculus or functions, these are a bit extra. So, but you will find it easily on YouTube. You know, you can just search the topic or जो भी language comfortable है and जिस पे ज़्यादा views हैं, like it's basically good. You will understand from there.
Yeah. So you got into
Yeah.
IISc Bangalore.
Yes.
Okay.
MTech Computer Science.
Okay. So you have completed your preparation in like July, December means only in 5 to 6 months you are done.
Yeah. And Jan. So I took the entire month of January off from work, and yes, for my semester exams, I mean I did have my basics clear, though it was far different from GATE, but it was not like I didn't know anything about the subject. So yes, a little bit of basics was clear. There were two subjects, like 2 out of 10, which is C and DSA. Those were very good for me because I was preparing for placements. So for these two subjects, I did not have to watch any lecture. So initially, I felt a bit motivated that okay, at least 2 out of 10 subjects are done. I just have to do eight. So yeah, remaining I covered. Uh, so though I had to study for the entire day, it's not like if it's I mean, I won't recommend कि ऐसे 6 months का ही target लेके चलो, because then it's a lot of work you have to put, and it's risky also, because if last moment if you get sick or anything, then you don't have any buffer time. So it's always good to prepare from the beginning. But for me, it worked out luckily.
Uh, Thank you.
Yeah. Chinmay and or anyone else who is left, do you have any questions
Ma'am, one question about notes.
about?
Notes, preparation of
Okay.
notes.
Yes.
So, as the lectures of Go classes are in depth, right? So
Yeah.
we have to write detailed notes or use annotated notes or make short notes by referring to the annotated notes. So as you told that in the starting we can give efficient time to the subject, but when we move forward, then there is less time and we have to go, you know, uh, means we have to increase our pace. So for that.
Yes, so yes, I feel that annotated notes are the best because in any of the subjects, what I felt is that there is no particular topic ki yahi sabse important hai, and the remaining are not so important. So a question can come from any topic and subtopic. So what I liked about annotated notes was that once you watch the lecture, आप instantly अगर वो notes देख लो, then next time when you revise, it will take very less time. So that is what will happen with you. So once you finish the lecture, or at least you say you finished 5 lectures, then up 3 hours you could sit and revise, or once you complete the subject, so instantly आप ऐसे 3-4 hours लेके बैठ जाओ and complete the revision from the annotated notes for the entire subject, so that towards the end जब आप revise करोगे before your gate exam, once you go through it again, it would be easier for you. And I would say for revision also, I revised from those annotated notes only, and बाकी जो subjects मैं पहले पढ़ रही थी उसमें भी I did not make any notes. Mostly there were PDFs available, और जो नहीं थी उसमें I used to take screenshots, and उसका मैंने PDF बना रखा था, and I arranged everything like there were 10 folders, not 10 because those subjects मैंने नहीं पढ़े थे, C and DSA, but remaining के लिए folder wise and topic wise I had organized the notes. And उसके बाद there was no fixed time कि 10-20 days में रिवाइज करना है. आई थिंक रिविजन आप जितना कर पाओ उतना बेटर है. सो वेन एवर लाइक आई वॉज इन द मूड, आई यूज टू click open the folder for any of the subjects I had done and revise it completely. So long notes, so I would not suggest any of you to make long notes. I think it is a waste of time because वो already available है. But it is definitely good to make short notes that you can do while watching the lecture only. So either आप lecture देखते time ही बना लो, or if you feel that it is distracting, then आप एक बार lecture देख सकते हो. Then उसके बाद maybe you can rewind and then make short notes. So if you are making short notes, make it alongside watching lecture because it would save time. And long notes, I would not recommend you to make. And also one thing I would like to highlight is कि as I said कि initially you tend to give more time but बाद में pace बढ़ाना पड़ता है. तो वो speed in the sense कि I remember starting में I used to मैंने पूरा एक month लिया था just to do COA and DBMS. One entire month I took. But and I started I tried making notes but eventually I stopped. So but towards the end, like when I discovered Go classes, so there were around 44 marathon lectures and all of them were 2 to 3 hours long. So I remember उस time पे वो automatically pressure रहता है that exam अभी 2 महीने में ही है. So I used to just sit सुबह से और शाम तक I used to watch lectures only क्योंकि I had to learn a lot of things conceptually. So in that sense pace बढ़ा था as in कि I was giving more time to it but it was not done in any rush. आप lecture चाहे अभी देखो या बाद में, it is only worth it if you are doing it with full focus. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yes, ma'am, it has. So for revision also, we have to refer annotated notes and the short notes which we have made along with the lectures, right?
Right, because long notes, वो annotated notes भी at least आपको एक बार तो revise करने ही पड़ेंगे. Like one time is the minimum. क्योंकि short notes you can use right before exam, but once you watch the lecture, एक बार में सारी चीजें याद नहीं रहती हैं. So one time revision for all subjects is a must. For all conceptual subjects at least. CDS, so still usme there is in algo also in fact there are a lot of things you could learn. So for maths also, like for every subject, one time so you have to revise the entire notes at least. If you could do it twice, then that's also great. And PYQs का भी revision is important. तो I remember जब when I was solving PYQs, मैंने सारे doubts या फिर tricky questions circle किए थे. तो definitely सब तो मैं दोबारा नहीं देख पाई थी. But when I used to revise, I had a book. So when I used to revise PYQs, I used to do only those circled questions. तो सबका तो definitely नहीं हो पाया था because there was not that much time. But yes, still, I think that is the approach you should follow for revision of PYQ and lectures.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah. So you told you had basics of C and DSA, so you thought only eight out of 10 subjects you should prepare, right?
Yeah.
So I'm also in that same phase. So again, did you watch the lectures, revise the C or DSA, or directly did you start doing PYQs for C and DSA?
Yes, I directly started with the PYQs. So for C, I was able to do most of them, but for data structures also, like linked list, tag, those questions I was able to do. I did not see any lecture for those, but for algo, I remember watching. I remember the Bellman Ford lecture that was really nice. So I think that comes in graph, right? So उसमें I learned new things, but apart from that, C programming and data structures was clear for me. So I did not watch lectures for that.
So you recommend solving PYQs directly if
Yes,
we are
I
fluent with
mean,
the basics.
see, so yeah, right. So like as I said, first you start with PYQs. If you are able to solve it, then there is no need of watching lectures. बिकॉज पीवाईक्यूज इज अ वे टू टेस्ट कि आपको कॉन्सेप्ट आता है या नहीं. तो अगर पीवाईक्यूज आपसे मोस्ट ऑफ देम बन रहे हैं देन देयर इज नो पॉइंट ऑफ वाचिंग लेक्चर्स फॉर द एंटायर thing. And even for like as I said, for digital logic I asked to study because usme I feel like it has a lot of concepts, at least what I found. So there are things to memorize, so
And
usme it is better to,
numbers.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Deepak sir, digital logic is full of concepts like that number system and all. We didn't study earlier, so yeah, that we should study. I think concepts.
Right. So for, yeah, so if you think that that subject you have done, but still तो उसमें revision is needed, क्योंकि I don't think उसमें अगर आपने 2-3 महीने पहले भी पढ़ा है तो आपको सब याद रहेगा. तो then you could revise it first from notes, annotated notes. अगर वो समझ नहीं आ रहे, then you watch the lecture and then you try solving the PYQs. But for C and DS, these are मतलब इसमें concept का ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. These are logic based things, right? So once you have the logic in your mind, then there is not much you need to like. There is no need to watch lecture for that if you are able to solve PYQs there.
And one more follow-up question. So, how did you plan your revision since you had very less time? Solving
Hmm.
PYQs, watching lectures, and you told you were in the middle of go classes, so
Yeah.
you did not even
So
apply, enroll go classes. So, how did you
yes.
manage revision also?
So revision, right. So whenever I was watching the subject, I made sure to have the notes ready that time only. In terms of, I used to check that abhi if I'm watching a video, uska PDF hai ya nahi. So if PDF nahi, I used to take screenshots पूरे lecture के, and I saved it in a folder. Now I had written all the subjects uh, in my notebook, and I my target was to revise everything twice. So I did not have exactly any fixed schedule for revision. Like, I had seen that after 10 days you revise once, then after 20. But I mean, that wasn't possible for me because I had less time, right? So it was like it feels random, but it also had structure. So basically, any random day, I used to feel ki now I want to. If I was in a mood to do revision, I used to pick any subject, and because everything was on my laptop, I used to sit with my laptop for 4-5 hours at night, and then go through the entire PDF. So that's how I did my revision. So, for example, if I say digital logic, so earlier from where I had done it, there were about 13 PDFs for it. So, topic wise, I had lecture 1 to lecture 13, all the PDFs. Now, any random day, I would just think that, okay, today I will revise digital logic. So, I used to open all the 13 PDFs and I used to go one after the other and cancel it, like close the tab. So that's how I did the
Yeah.
entire revision, and I used to tick that, okay, this subject I've revised once. So I tried to tick every subject twice at least.
So, you'll revise and you will solve PYQs. That's it.
No, yeah. So PYQs, so I did uh, for every subject. I had done most of the PYQs I have completed because my target for PYQ is that I will be doing 25 questions a day. So my streak went till 40 days. So 40 days and 25 questions each day. I was able to cover most of the PYQs there. So that was different. Like PYQ, I did once I completed the subject. I started with the and I started with next subject. तो जो पहले हो रखे हैं उसके PYQs I used to do. Now revision is different. तो अगर PYQ करते time suppose say I am being stuck in a topic in of paging suppose, right, operating system का मुझसे question नहीं हो रहा, तो I used to open notes for operating system, read that, and solve questions for paging. Now, it's not necessary कि हमेशा I used to do it that time only. If I have I'm in a flow of solving PYQ and I notice कि इस topic के नहीं हो रहे, then I used to note the topic साइड में ऐसे नोट कर लिया, और फिर किसी और टॉपिक जो हो रहे हैं उसके क्वेश्चंस आई यूज्ड टू डू. नाउ नेक्स्ट डे उस वहां से फिर मोटिवेशन आती थी दैट ओके आई वाज नॉट एबल टू सॉल्व पीवाईक्यू ऑफ दिस टॉपिक, सो आई विल रिवाइज entire operating system today and then I will try the PYQ. So I say I used to manage
Yeah.
and decide which topic I have to revise. But yeah, हाँ एक बार तो I feel like at least once you have to revise entire long notes. And PYQs also try to cover all the PYQs from the beginning till अभी तक के.
Yeah, your strategy is good actually. 25 questions per day for PYQs.
Yes, yes, yes. Because actually, I started PYQs because starting में it was also important for me to complete syllabus. So after I had done 3 to 4, मतलब बीच में I used to do PYQs of course. जो subject अगर मैं I started with COA and DBMS. तो इन दोनों के PYQs also I did a few क्योंकि वो lecture के बीच में भी आते ही हैं. But after I had done to 5 subjects और ऐसे, तब I decided कि now I will, because I noticed that I'm just watching lectures और फिर PYQs हो नहीं पा रहे, तो 25 का जो मैं target बनाती थी, I used to do mixed questions. So some days when I used to feel very exhausted, then also I used to pick an easier topic. तो मैंने I used to make sure कि if I have energy, I will do the harder topic वाले PYQs, so that बाद के लिए I used to like save the easy one. So that's how I used to mentally strategize solving questions.
Okay, so after finishing the whole subjects, you will start
Yes,
PYQs, right?
right,
Not
right,
topics.
right.
Okay.
Because कुछ PYQs तो lecture में भी होते हैं, तो yeah, but it only make like it's better कि आप एक पूरा subject करके then उसके PYQ करो, because then आप साथ में दूसरा subject भी parallelly पढ़ रहे हो, so you're doing questions and lectures both.
Yeah, yeah. And also
Yeah,
the
and
flow will be good actually, because
yes,
for some
right,
students again we should stop and again go to topic lecture if you're not getting
right,
it.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a good strategy. It worked for me.
yeah.
Okay. So, any other questions, or we can end the session?
Thank you for your patience, for
Thank you,
explaining
Rishi.
everything. Yeah, yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
All right. I don't think there are any more questions for now. So, it 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 was great talking to you all. So, I'll just say best of luck for your preparation.
Thank you, Didi.
Yeah. See you soon. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you all for joining.